early 1800s, the United States began an age of rapid growth, which started in the expansion of the Lower South. During this expansion, white settlers encountered what they believed to be a very large obstacle. The areas the settlers intended to move to were already inhabited by Native American tribes, such as the Cherokees, the Creeks, the Choctaws, Chickasaws, and the Seminoles. The American settlers believed that the presence of these tribes halted any further progress, and eager for land to raise cotton, they began to pressure the federal government to acquire Indian territory. Andrew Jackson was a major player in the Native American removal from 1814 to 1824. He negotiated 9 treaties with Native Americans. The majority of these treaties proposed that the southern tribes of eastern lands exchange their land for territory out west. The tribes agreed to these treaties for strategic reasons, and of hopes that one day they would get their old land back. Because of these treaties, the United States received control of 3/4 of Alabama and Florida, as well as parts of Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kentucky, and North Carolina. In 1823, the Supreme Court handed down a decision which declared that Native Americans could occupy lands within the United States, however, could not hold title to those lands. This is because of their right of occupancy, which was subordinate to the United States' right of discovery. The Native Americans wanted to protect what remained of their land before it was too late, so the tribes attempted many times to resist relocation with nonviolent methods, such as adopting Anglo-Saxon ideas such as large-scale farming, Western education, and slaveholding. In 1830, just a year after taking office, President Jackson pushed a new piece of legislation called the Indian Removal Act through both houses of Congress. This act entitled the president to negotiate removal treaties with the Native American tribes living east of the Mississippi. Under these treaties, Native Americans were supposed to give their land east of the Mississippi River in exchange for lands even further west, and for those who wanted to stay in the east were to become citizens of their home state. The process was planned to be very peaceful. However, tribes resisted and Jackson had to force them to leave. They claimed removal would save Native Americans from harassment from whites and would give them an area to resettle where they could govern themselves in peace. But many Americans saw this as an excuse for a brutal and inhumane course of action and protested loudly against the removal. Their protests did not save the eastern nations, however, from removal. The Native Americans who left traveled through on the Trail of Oregon, which commonly known as the Trail of Tears, due to the fact 1 in 4 died on this inhumane journey, either to disease, starvation, or to freezing to death. The Choctaws were the first to sign the removal treaty, which took place in September of 1830. Some chose to stay in the Mississippi under the terms of the Removal Act, but even though there were attempts to protect those who stayed, it was no match for the land-hungry whites who swatted the Choctaw territory or cheated them out of their holdings. The remaining Choctaws grew tired of their mistreatment, so they sold their land and moved west.